Hey everyone, how's it going today, and welcome back to another second stimulus check and second stimulus package update. So in today's update, I really just want to share the great news, one of the great news, and I really just want to give you guys more of an update about what exactly is going on right now in the House, the Senate, the Congress, and the current status about the second stimulus check and second stimulus package and the unemployment benefits for anyone that's there. Because the great news to share with you guys is that the stimulus package of the HEROES Act has officially passed inside of the House. And while I do think that most people probably anticipated that it was probably going to get passed and approved inside of the House, the story is that most people believe that it's probably going to struggle to really pass the Senate. And as you guys probably know, or not know, whether or not you guys do know, but the story is that in order for the stimulus package to be able to finally be stamped and official, is that it has to pass the House, then it has to pass the Senate, then it has to get signed for the President. So 3 ways, so we are about 1/3 of the way there. But the great news, why actually there's still a lot of great news, is because even though there is the likelihood is that the Senate probably will not like the HEROES Act and all that, and it might struggle to pass, the talks are actually still continuing. Why this is particularly great news is because originally there was belief that it was very, very possible that the Senate, or basically just Congress, was originally going to basically go home onto recess and now start to campaign in order for the election. The great news to share is that the talks will be continuing and is officially passed inside of the House. It hasn't been stamped, and I think that that is the number one most important thing to really keep in mind is that it has been passed in the House, there is progress being made, and the talks are currently considering. And interestingly, one more news to really share is actually interestingly about the world in general, and also about Donald Trump's recent news that most of you guys have probably heard by now, which is that he tested positive for the pandemic. Why actually this is very, very interesting news is because, and we'll talk a little bit about it, so definitely watch all the way through the end, but like, people are saying that there is a belief right now that because he tested positive for the pandemic, there is a chance actually that, and this is a little bit terrible to say in a way, but sometimes the worser the situation gets, the more urgency it might add into pushing for stimulus and all that kind of stuff. It's just one of those things, and I guess this is really just the world of politics and politicians, is that we are living literally in a situation where so many of the different things that have happened this year either could have been avoided or certainly could have been less severe than how severe it actually got if people just took action early or just did things and prepared for it. But because, as we know, we are living in a time where something bad has to happen before something good or hopeful can potentially happen. But in today's video, we're basically going to give you guys an update about the HEROES Act, what is going on. We'll talk a little bit about the Trump situation, a little bit about unemployment, and really about what to expect next. So, as always, if you are brand new here, welcome. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification button for future updates on stimulus checks, unemployment, and other finance topics. Smash the like button because it always does help to support this channel, and it's very easy to do. And as always, feel free to comment any thoughts, questions about anything at all, especially about what you guys think about the Trump situation, because that is a little bit of a very interesting, or even just like a hello. It's always great to say hi or see familiar faces around. Okay, with that being said, let's get this video started. So the great news, as most of you guys have recently heard, is that the stimulus package, the HEROES Act, did indeed pass inside of the House. It is currently on the road to the Senate. And the other story is that they are still continuing the talks and rolling. And again, so because we originally thought that there was a chance that they were just going to walk out and go back to their campaigning, the great news is that it still is rolling. It is still promising, both directly from Mnuchin and from Pelosi. They do see a positive upside to it. So that is a very, very great news, especially from Pelosi. I did make another video where I talked and explained all of the breakdown details about the HEROES Act, so if you are interested, I'll add that video at the very, very end of the thumb screen so you guys can watch all the way through the end in one of my last episodes. Or actually, I'll just throw this up right here. So this really is just a summary about everything that's inside of the HEROES Act. I go into more depth in that video where I talk about like the stimulus checks, unemployment, small businesses, all the different programs, food stamps, airlines, every little program for every little industry. industry. Now, the fact that Trump recently tested positive for the pandemic, this is actually a very, very interesting situation because it literally happened not even 24 hours ago. So we don't know, the story is that we don't know the severity of it right now. And as sad as it is to say is that because of this current situation, well, I guess sad or not depends on you, but like depends on the person in what way you look at it. But because of the current situation, there is a chance that if the pandemic hits Trump and really impacts him very, very hard, there is a chance that there's a very high likelihood it's going to throw everything off. It's going to throw the debates. It might even throw the election. Maybe something will get contested. The debates are literally another like week and a half away. So that's literally about, I think it's literally about 10 days. So we don't even know if the debates are even going to still happen. They may even postpone it. And if everything gets postponed, the story is that, and this is a little bit sad, but I guess depending on, you know, how you feel about this way, but there's a say right now that because Trump has tested positive for the pandemic, it has actually added and increased the level of urgency to try to get something passed, especially within the Republicans. And as we currently know, the Republicans, specifically the Senate Republicans, are one of the biggest reason we do not have a stimulus package right now. Some people will say it's the, you know, the House Democrats, but at least they had a proposal of some kind. But the story is that because of what happened to Trump, some people feel that it may add urgency, especially even more true for his own political party, which is the Republicans, to maybe try to pass something, especially also because a lot of their positions are actually on the line. That's why I always tell people how it's so important to kind of vote in this election, because it's not actually only Trump's position that's on the line, but it's actually also a lot of people in the Senate. And as we know, is that I think everyone can hopefully agree is that we need new people in the Senate, in the House, and basically just flat out in the world of politics and the people that are running. Maybe smash the like button if we're still on the same page on that part. But the story really is that because of Trump's condition, it may actually add to the urgency and maybe actually rush through to maybe finally get something to pass, even if it's just magically gonna happen. Even if they're not really necessarily feeling it in the Senate right now. It's also crazy because I remember actually in several videos, I remember like a very old video I think I made, how I kind of talked, this was the video I made a really while ago, I'm not even sure if it's still on there, where I think I mentioned something about how like Donald Trump was calling the entire virus like a hoax or some play kind of, you know, story. It's just gonna magically heal by the warm summer. And I was telling some people how, like, don't you think the craziest plot twist would be, imagine if Trump tested positive for it. But crazy is that it actually did happen, and it happens, crazy enough, right before, like a month basically before the election situation. So it's kind of crazy time how everything has really been happening. Now, on the unemployment situation, the unemployment is very, very interesting because right now in this country, it is bad. It is really, really bad. People are getting layoffs, starting to get laid off left and right. Disney just laid off, I believe, like 30 to 40,000 people. Airlines, their bailout money has officially run out. And that is another thing that's going to hopefully pressure the stimulus to pass even sooner. But the idea is there are articles that talk about how unemployment apparently has gotten better. But personally, at least for me, from my personal experience, and maybe this is because I work in entertainment, so we were one of the most hardest hit industries, and maybe also because I'm from New York, but I don't see it getting better. If anything, I actually see it getting a lot worse. But maybe comment down how especially if you are also unemployed, how the unemployment situation is where you guys are at in your state, your city. It's always great, once again, it's always nice to hear stories or like things from people that are actually in that particular place, so you can learn directly from people there than from a news external source of some kind. But because of that, once again, is that because of the unemployment situation going up, because of the economy, because of Trump, because of so many different things, and because of the elections right now, there is reason to believe that, as sad as it is that the worser the world gets, the more likely and more urgency it will add to finally pass the stimulus check / stimulus package. Otherwise, the consequence is gonna potentially be very, very dire. And because of what had happened with Trump literally just last night, and because they've officially passed the HEROES Act within the House, it does mean they are making progress. The talks are still rolling. There is still positive upside to it, and there is also negative things inside of the world that are happening. but that maybe will actually push it to pass even sooner, and maybe so they can maybe feel what we feel at this point in time. But that's really what I wanted to share in today's video. Hopefully it wasn't too long or crazy or anything like that, but remember to smash the like button if you haven't done so, subscribe, hit the bell notification for future updates, and once again, feel free to comment any questions, thoughts, or even if it's just again to say hello or to share how unemployment is doing in your particular state, city, or location. It's always great to hear from people. But thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay well, have a great weekend, have a great safe weekend, and hope to see you guys next time. Hoping for the best as always.